Adura Aloba, the younger brother of late Nigerian singer Mohbad, has once again taken center stage, this time in a fiery exchange with popular activist and online commentator Verydarkman. What started as a tragic tale of a young artist's sudden and mysterious death has now evolved into a heated war of words, accusations, and deepening distrust, all playing out under the glaring spotlight of social media. Recently, Adura granted a tell-all interview where he gave harrowing details of the final hours before Mohbad passed. In the interview, Adura recounted hearing his brother screaming in distress. He described entering the room and seeing Mohbad lying on the floor, blood around him, and clearly in need of urgent help. According to him, there was chaos, confusion, and for reasons he couldn't understand, decisions were delayed. Instead of rushing Mohbad to the nearest hospital, those around him allegedly waited for a nurse from outside Lagos to arrive. That nurse eventually injected him, and shortly after, Mohbad died. Adura's revelation shook many Nigerians, especially those who have been following the case with intense interest. The details of that day raised far more questions than answers. Among those who reacted strongly to the interview was Verydarkman, known for using his platform to fight injustice and expose what he believes are hidden truths. VDM, who has shown consistent interest in Mohbad's case since it broke, questioned the credibility of Adura's account. He claimed that after hearing about the interview, he reached out directly to the media house that conducted it. He was told Adura had refused to speak with him. VDM said he had previously offered to fund Adura's trip to Abuja or Lagos, promising to provide accommodation and a platform for Adura to speak freely. His reason? He wanted to ensure that the public got clarity from the family, not just influencers or bloggers. He emphasized that he was not collecting money from anyone and that his interest was driven solely by the need for justice for Mohbad. But Adura didn't take that lightly. In a sharp response, he accused VDM of chasing clout and using Mohbad's death for fame. Adura did not hold back, suggesting that VDM had been compromised and was possibly being paid to mislead the public. In his words, he wasn't afraid of anyone. He said he was handing the entire situation over to his late brother's spirit, trusting that justice would reach every person trying to manipulate the truth. His response was raw, emotional, and clearly came from a place of pain. It's not just about interviews anymore. It's about who gets to tell Mohbad's story and whose voice the public will trust. What's especially disturbing is that instead of unity among those seeking justice for Mohbad, we're now witnessing division. Both Adura and VDM claim to be speaking for the late singer, yet the public feud is drawing attention away from the core issue, the unresolved questions surrounding Mohbad's tragic end. The singer's death in September 2023 sparked a wave of protests and digital outrage. Fans, celebrities, and concerned citizens demanded answers. There were allegations of bullying, failed medical care, industry pressure, and family silence. Now, nearly a year later, it seems we're still stuck in the mud, grappling not only with the loss of a young star but also with the chaos unfolding among those who were supposed to keep his memory alive. Many fans are now confused. On one hand, VDM has a history of investigative work and using his voice to highlight injustice, especially in the entertainment industry. On the other hand, Adura is Mohbad's brother, someone who lived with him and shared his final moments. His pain is personal and his emotions are raw. Some people feel he should be allowed to grieve and speak in his own way. Others believe that if he truly wants justice, then he should cooperate with those offering help, especially when the public is desperate for clarity. But there's another angle to this saga, one that many are beginning to notice. In Nigeria's entertainment industry, social justice often becomes entertainment. Serious issues get reduced to viral content. Families grieving in silence suddenly become topics of reaction videos, hashtags, and endless interviews. This creates a dangerous environment where truth becomes hard to distinguish from narrative control. People are beginning to ask, is this still about justice for Mohbad, or has it become a performance? Regardless of where you stand, one thing is clear. The fight for justice has taken a bitter turn. The energy that should be focused on holding those responsible accountable is now being used to fight over who gets the spotlight. Meanwhile, the key issues, why Mohbad wasn't rushed to the hospital, why a nurse was called instead, why the medical report remains unclear, remain unresolved. It's also hard to ignore how other players in the story are suddenly quiet. Wunmi, Mohbad's partner, who once spoke out frequently, has remained largely silent since the backlash she faced for certain public statements. Portable, another artist who clashed with Mohbad before his death, has re-emerged in online conversations, indirectly throwing shade And while fans remain glued to every update, frustration is growing over the lack of progress in actual investigations. The truth is, justice for Mohbad requires more than internet noise. It demands transparency, a full inquiry into the circumstances around his death, medical reports, official police action, and protection for witnesses willing to speak. The blame game between Adura and Verydarkman might make for gripping content, but it doesn't bring us any closer to the answers everyone deserves. As this saga continues, it's important that we, as viewers and concerned citizens, ask ourselves what really matters. Do we care more about who's trending or about the facts that could reveal what really happened to a young artist whose life ended far too soon? One thing is certain, Mohbad's legacy is bigger than views, interviews, or social media arguments. His music touched millions. His fans deserve clarity, and his family deserves peace. Let the noise stop and let the truth speak.